I'm sitting next to you. I set up the camera, so I know that I'm in the shot.
You smell good.
Thanks.
You look good.
Just woosah, okay?
What you doing after this?
Sleeping next to my favorite man.
Sleeping?
Yeah, sleeping. Are we not supposed to sleep?
Oh, the kids is in bed early. Girl.
What's goody?
Episode 3, baby. We 3 in. Yes, sir.
Word.
Episode 3. First of all, I'm your boy, Mr. B. This is the beautiful Miss Honey. And welcome back to another episode of Honey and the Bee podcast. Before we even get started in this episode, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel. Click that subscribe button.
Yep.
Make sure you click the bell so that you know when we post a new. I appreciate that, babe. When you post a new video, we really appreciate your support. Episode 2, we had a lot of fun with you guys in the comments, things like that. Shout out to the game we played. I don't remember the name right now.
Yeah, something expansion after dark. Something.
Yeah, it was a crazy game. It was a crazy night.
Yeah.
It was a crazy night. But a lot of you guys been waiting for this specific episode because we about to spill some tea. Well, I'm about to spill some tea about our not so cliche love story. Not so cliche love story. So we're gonna take it back. We're gonna rewind the tape. We're gonna rewind it all the way back to, I believe,
1999.
What? We were shorties then, bro. Like what?
Nah.
Well, I was actually fakely grown compared to her in '94. Stop trying to do the math.
We're not even talking about that. But
like
back in
2013, I think it was November.
Yeah, you remember better than I do.
Yeah, because it was around Thanksgiving.
So prior to that, backstory, I had not just gotten a relationship. I was single for some months, maybe a season or two prior.
What does that mean? What does a season mean?
Well, if we met in the fall,
okay,
then 2 seasons prior would technically be spring.
I mean, you said season, so I'm thinking that your life is like a docuseries or a drama or something like that. I mean,
listen, I could be a little on Netflix special something. Right?
Yeah, I'll watch it, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I had just gotten out of a relationship, maybe that March. And, I was chilling. I was really trying to figure it out and just be single. It was tough because that was one of the major breakups that I've had. For me, I love hard, and so when I feel like you choose to stop loving, then it's tough for me. And because love is a choice, and you have to choose to love your partner every day. And at that moment, that person just chose not to. And that's okay, because I'm married to one that chooses me every day.
Every day.
So, without further ado, go ahead, take it away, baby.
Yeah, back to our scheduled program. But this episode tonight, a lot of people have been asking us, like, what's you guys' love story? Like, how did you guys meet? Spill the tea. So tonight, without further ado, we're gonna spill the tea. It was November of 2013. I was preparing, I was doing a week of prayer at Hempstead SDA in Long Island. Shout out to Hempstead SDA in Long Island. And I was on Facebook while preparing my message, right? And was a mutual friend. They were Miss Honey and the mutual friend of mine. I don't remember the person.
Right, because I'm trying to figure out, like,
they were having a conversation, or she liked something, or she commented on something, and I remember her profile pic. Y'all, she was wearing like this blue scarf over her head, or it was a dress?
No, it was a gray. Oh my gosh.
It was a blue.
Babe, it was a gray dress, because I wore that same dress on Valentine's Day when we went out. What
But
I did was
you
I put it's like,
a filter?
no. I took the kind of like a turtle. It was like a turtleneck, but it was like a fluffed
And
turtleneck.
you
So
pulled it over your
I
head
pulled it over my head to make me like appear like
like
I
you
was
was
a
wearing a
Muslim.
hoodie.
No,
Yeah,
Muslim.
Muslim. Well, look, y'all. All I
And
saw was
because my name is Arabic anyway, so.
yeah. It means
But
pretty.
I mean, it means beautiful.
Beautiful, right? Not pretty. Beautiful.
Same 6 and 4. But nevertheless, at that moment, I was just trying to just be funny, and I was like heavy into MAC lipstick. So I was wearing
She was wearing
a red lipstick.
Yeah.
Ruby Woo Kisses.
All right. That. So I saw her smile and the lips and the eyes and the skin tone and just everything. And y'all, like, I don't normally, like, I'm not a DM slider, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's not first base. I'm not sliding into nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like baseball like that. So, but something about her made me say like, yo, I gotta say something. So I went the good boy route and I invited her to the event, to the week of prayer that we were having in Hempstead. And actually, you know who was at that week of prayer too? Doc Adams. Shout out to the bro, to the homie.
Okay.
Happy belated birthday.
They were in.
I don't know if Caroline was there, but I know Doc was there.
Yeah, matter of fact, we need to find out. Is he from New York?
I believe they're both from New York.
I know Caroline is. Like, I grew up with her, but
I think he from the Hempstead. I think he used to go to Hempstead. I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me. I might be chatting. But Doc was there, and I remember he preached in the morning on Saturday, and I think I preached in the afternoon.
Okay.
Or something like that. But that's the first time I met Doc. Anyway, I invited her, and she, first of all, she accepted my friend request. She probably saw that we had some mutual friends, like my sister and a couple other people that were mutual. So she accepted my friend request on Facebook.
So put a pin in that. Accepting your friend request, I looked at you and I was like, this guy looks so familiar. And I'm like, who does he look like? And like when you're like on a mission to like find the mystery of like where you know somebody and you're just like pinpointing like it's at the tip of your tongue. Because I haven't seen his sister in like ages, since we were kids. And I'm like, why does he look so familiar? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is Olympus' brother. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Like, they look too much alike, like split twins. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, let me add him. Let me look. I'm like, okay. And I looked through some photos and I'm like, yes, that is her. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
she's like,
she's my evil twin.
I know, but she's a Gemini like me. Hey, sis.
Right. So so she didn't come, obviously.
Wow. Why is that obvious? That's not obvious. Like,
because we know y'all be playing hard to get. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
anyways,
you're not gonna come. I invite you to the first thing I invite you to, you just gonna pull up. It's too easy, right? So you have to make me work for it.
Not even. I think at that time I wasn't driving. I would have to figure out how to.
You ain't even say all that though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's okay. Who tells a guy like, well, I can't get there. I don't drive. Like,
maybe I could have picked you up.
Yeah, but I didn't know you like that to just be like, oh, come pick me up. Like,
or I could have arranged. Listen.
You know what's going time? Like, there's too many things happening out there.
We're not gonna talk about Lifetime. Man, all right, we can segue real quick. So, we watched this movie today. It was what?
The teacher that abducted his student. That happened like in Tennessee in 2017.
So Shorty was homeschooled and decided to go to school in what, 10th grade? Ninth
I
grade?
think
10th grade. She
probably
was 15.
she was 15.
And her teacher started hitting her with the G. I'm talking about he was G'ing her down. He was chatting. You heard? And he basically got her to the point where he convinced her to run away with him. And I think
Well, he
I
didn't
think they was,
really convince her because she didn't really want to.
but then he started like
You
giving
know what
her
I'm saying?
compliments. She started smiling.
Right. But then it got to a point where he was like, okay, run away with me so we could be together. But she was like, I'm not trying to leave my family. Like she's still a 15-year-old girl. Like, you have to understand the 15-year-old mind. As much as these teenagers may think they're grown, they're not. Because I was once a teenager. We all were. You may think you're grown, but you're not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that movie was crazy. But yeah, back to the scheduled program though. So I invited her. She couldn't make it for whatever the reason she couldn't get out to Long Island because she was in Queens. So, but one thing that I tell y'all, our conversation from day one was always like the energy and just the comfortability, like because you guys gave us a couple compliments about our chemistry on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like some of you that spoke to me directly, some of you that spoke to us. Chemistry was one of the things that you guys. We had like instant chemistry. Like we would joke around. She could take a joke. Thank God, because normally the pretty ones there and they just be like. Can't even make
not even that
so a lot of times it'd be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I kind of tested the waters to see like, yo, what's your sense of humor like? Can you take a joke, or is it like don't talk like that? I made a lot of light skin jokes because she really was being light skinned though. Like,
how you be in the shade?
Like you was like, y'all know when I say somebody being light skinned, what they doing.
Okay, and you being dark skinned. So.
What is being dark skinned? That's not a thing.
Well, being light skinned is not a thing.
Being light skinned is definitely a thing.
Wow. We could have that debate at another time.
Was immaculate from day one. Like just the joking, I was hitting her with some light game, you know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy because it was really truthful. Because when you being truthful, it's not really game. Like you're not like I haven't told her anything that I told some next girl. Like I was really told, like I really was intrigued by her, like her personality.
So you lied to your ex-girlfriend? That's what you're saying?
Nah, I ain't lied to them. I was truthful with them too.
Like,
game is for what? Like why? Bro, game is being naturally yourself and telling the people that you care about how you care about them. Like that's how dudes get caught up because you say, what's the show we be watching with when they be like, well, he said that to me too. Oh, he said that to me too. Was it The One?
No, that's
it's not The One.
With Cousins.
With Tommy, yeah, nephew Tommy.
That's real something with love.
Oh my gosh. But
Ready to Love.
Yeah, you see how they be just G'ing everybody the same. Those are dudes that don't got no game. Like they don't really have game for real. Anyway, so I told her, in the conversations we had, we talked about, where we know each other. Because first it was very formal, checking in the morning, checking in the evening, sometime maybe in the midday and just top it up. But then eventually, I think what happened was I had asked for your number and you was like, well, I don't know you yet. So, we'll get there, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Absolutely. I respected that. But I respected that. The way you moved in the beginning made my respect for you just grow. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some girls back in the day, like where you got everything super quick and it was just like, all right. It's like playing a game and you beat it in 10 minutes. It's just like, all right.
Right.
What am I gonna do now? Go to the next game. You know what I'm saying? But you were like very just kind of like ladylike, and you wasn't. So I already knew you were different. You know what I'm saying? Because you wasn't like you carried yourself like that, and you were young at the time, moving like that.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
I was like
23, around there.
something like that, 22, 23.
So going further now down the conversation, she ends up giving me her number, and I hit her up. Now we're talking on the phone, texting on the phone, and I hit her up, and one day I was like, what you doing? This is closer to Thanksgiving now, y'all. So we've been talking from like the beginning of November, like all the way down to the week of Thanksgiving, or the day of Thanksgiving, or something like that. And I remember her saying like, dang, like I don't have a ride. Mind you, y'all, I haven't seen her in person yet. This is all text
What was
messages.
I working at then?
Bloomies. All text messages. And finally, I hit her up and I'm like, yo, what you doing? She's like, I'm getting ready and I'm trying to find a ride to this event for my job. And I was like, given the fact that I had parked outside a silver Infiniti G37 just sitting there, right? So I'm like, all right.
What event was that? For work?
Yeah. So it was you and your homegirls. It was two of your homegirls. So I was like, y'all, I'm literally in the bed with the controller in my hand. This girl that I think the world of needs a ride. I'm doing nothing. So what y'all think I did? I hit her up and I'm like, yo, I mean, I don't mind dropping you to your event if you don't mind. Cause I had to see I had to see what she was working with, and you know what I'm saying, like in person. So she was like, yeah, I could. I mean, she was, I guess, desperate measures.
Yeah.
Because she needed that ride. So I picked her up, her and her friends, and two of your friends that worked there. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember them because they were not important.
I know, but that's strange. I'm like.
So I picked her up, and I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like because of how she came in the car, I didn't really see, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I didn't really see because it was kind of cold. She had a little coat on. But when I dropped them off, y'all, yes, God. And she got out she got out the vehicle.
How are you seeing me with my coat on still?
Nah, cause you remember y'all had to change. Y'all started changing basically, not like crazy, but like y'all started getting ready to change for the event.
Okay.
And then I saw a little something, but I ain't really see the most yet. Couple days after was Thanksgiving, right? And by that time, you know, I think for helping her get to her event, she was like, yo, my mom cooked. You want a plate? You know, you can pull up and get it. So now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to see, like, she be
anybody who's anybody.
She be throwing it down. So
who's had some food from
right. So she called me and she was like, and then I think she also wanted to go somewhere too. So you were going somewhere at the time, some of your other friend's house or something like that. And you brought me the plate, but this time you just had on like a hoodie and your jeans. Y'all know that song that Genuine sang?
Oh gosh.
Is there any more room for me? Cause bruh, listen. So I was like, okay, I love how she looks. I love the personality. Like, she's pulling me in fast, real fast. But the thing about it then, y'all, you know, being young, sometimes you don't have the tools in your tool bag to express yourself about the hurt that you're in or the way that you're feeling. So we were in two different levels at the time. She liked me for what the possibilities were, but at the time she was really dealing with the trauma of the last relationship that she was in. But even for me, it was a lesson for me at that time because I was so caught up in her that I was oblivious to her trauma and what was going on inside of her. So the young me was caught up in the surface aspect of this beautiful young lady. It wasn't what you've been through, because a lot of things clicked after. You know what I'm saying? So jumping back into that time. So during that time, we went on several dates. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. We went to a couple movies together. We were really hanging out. But the thing about it is, our time spent together was so dope. It was always laughs. It was jokes. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? I came to the play that you did at Queensboro.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, then I took you to Kingsborough. We went from Queensboro to Kingsborough
Yeah,
that same Saturday. And
because that was December by that time.
Yeah, and I had let you drive the car, and you were kind of like, we were just getting to all our conversations. We were just kind of getting to know each other, you know, in your car. And while you were driving, you was kind of telling me about, you know, different experiences that you had, different relationships. So we were really bonding, right?
Because my ex was there.
Oh yeah, you told me that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that was an interesting time because my grandfather too had passed. I think a couple weeks after, a week later.
And I came to that funeral. I came to that funeral. And you know how I know that I really had liked her at that time? Because this girl left me sitting at a funeral at a table for like 2 hours by myself.
No way.
It was like 2 hours.
Later.
She was mingling with her family and friends and stuff like that.
I'm so sorry.
And I'm just sitting there like,
2 hours later.
damn, son. And now I'm having that battle with myself, like, bro, should I leave? Like, bro, you know who you are, bro? Like, why are you sitting here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just dip, bro. Like, you live right down the street. Like, this is Grace.
That is true.
Like, you live right down the street, bro. Like, what you doing? Just dip. Like, she got her father here, her brother. Like, she can get a ride home. But I wanted to be the one, y'all. I wanted to be the one to take her home. You feel me? So I had to sit there for them 2 hours and just wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know if I ate. I was just waiting patiently, like her bodyguard, just watching out. So, I mean, we eventually dipped, and I did take her home. And I didn't even give her no smoke, because listen, her grandfather died. She could have had me there for 5 hours, and I was gonna be cool. Because I know
I don't really see that side of family like that. So, you know, I was just chopping up with some people. And at that time, me and my dad weren't really. It was like, all right, if I see him, I was saying hi, but you know, we ain't really. Because my mom, I think, was there.
For those of you that are now jumping in, go back to episode 1.
Right.
You'll get the whole story about her dad.
We cool now, but at that time,
we real cool now. Shout out to Pops. So after the funeral, so like during that time period, we were dating, you know, and my boy Malcolm, at that time we were playing at a Sunday church right next to New Dimensions. So Malcolm knew Jamila, or Miss Honey for you guys. Malcolm knew her, and I used to tell him, like, bro, like all the guy talk, like how I'm just so, I just felt so hard for her. And he was like, yeah, bro. But he would tell me, like, you know, she had some situations.
Yeah, me and Malcolm used to chop it up heavy, like that best friend. Like, he is definitely, now he's even closer to home. Like, now he's really
that's our bro. But like, that's our bro.
Definitely, as a best friend, I would consider him one of my close best friends.
He's family,
because he's been there from since then.
Definitely family. He's our son's godfather, so you know.
Right.
Yeah. So I would tell him, and he'd be like, yo, bro, she gonna come around. She good people. This, that, and the third. And I remember, like, after a while, you kind of would go cold for a couple days, sometimes even weeks, and then you would come back hot. And that, at that time, because I didn't have the tools to see that, what we were going through, I would be like, bro, what in the world is going on? Like, why am I on and off with you? And like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I remember, like, do you remember when I told you like I wanted to take you on a trip? Remember? I was like,
No.
I told you like I wanted to take you. I wanted to go overseas with you somewhere.
Oh yes, I
and
think
you were
you
like,
did say that.
I'm not gonna go overseas with you because you're not my boyfriend. And I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm trying to be. So let's go. But you were like, I don't know. I guess you were still dealing with that situation or dealing with
like
the feelings
it's
of
only
it.
been maybe a little like 6 to 8 months.
And I see that now. There's no qualms about that. Like, you just needed to heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would have happened back then? I think if we had gotten into something with you not being like in a state of
It would have
being
been
healed,
detrimental.
yeah, it wouldn't have been right. But it was just not having the tools and the, you know, the foresight to see that. So anyway, I ended up taking that money and I think I bought, was it the Xbox One? Yeah, around
Typical
that.
guy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, look, I could take on this trip or I could get the Xbox One. I mean, the Xbox One at the time, I got it like when it just dropped. So it was like almost $800. So I copped that and I'm like, and the funny thing about it, I still had the bread to take you on the trip if you change your mind. You know what I'm saying? I was ready either way. But anyway, so then we started going on and off. This is where the tea starts, y'all. That was just the introduction. This is what the tea is about to start right now. So we were on and off. And that was playing with me mentally and emotionally. Because I really wanted her, like, bad. She was always the one.
We went out for Valentine's Day. That was the New Year, 2014.
I mean, yeah, we went out for Valentine's Day. But still, it was still on and off. Because, like, you know, like, I was actually shocked that you said yes to being my Valentine. I was like, okay, I might still be in the door a little bit. You know what I'm saying? During that time period, I believe before that, I took, you want to tell them the story about the flowers at your door?
Was that around that time?
Was it like December 2nd or something?
It was somewhere around December.
Yeah, it was December something. It was before Valentine's Day.
Okay, yeah, I remember just going outside. I don't know if I was heading to, I don't remember where I was heading, but I know I opened the door because I was heading somewhere. And I look down and I see flowers at my door. And so I actually ended up posting it on my Instagram, like way back. If you try to scroll, you're not going to find it now because I think I might have archived it. But
sidebar, mad of y'all took credit for that. Y'all know who y'all are. Bunch of dudes took credit for them flowers.
It's just maybe one or two.
One or two? It wasn't
a lot of people found it sweet. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. Because a couple of y'all was like, yeah, I did. No, it wasn't. It was me. Thanks.
Right. So I had seen these flowers and I'm like, who left these bouquet of roses? So I just brought the flowers inside and then I'm like, okay, I read the card. It said, I think like just because it's Tuesday or Wednesday.
That's exactly what it said. Just because it's Tuesday.
And from Superman. I'm like, okay, whoever I thought it was in my mind, it wasn't that person. So I just went about my day. Just posted it and went about my day. Come to find out.
Years later.
That was 2014 or 2013 actually.
And then you found out when we lived in Minnesota, like
2019. And I don't even know how it came up. Like it was so random. I'm like,
I think I had bought some flowers then, and I think somehow it.
I think he wrote Superman, and then I looked at the handwriting, and I was like, was it you? Mind you, he could have said at some point he had like 5 years to tell me. Homie said nothing. He let me think what I wanted to think, and that was that. So I'm like, okay, whatever. When we were in Minnesota now, and I think when I seen the handwriting and who it's from, I'm like, why does this look so familiar? I was like, yo, was that you that sent? Because I think something like either you saw me looking at.
Maybe I think I saw you looking at it.
Yeah, I think you saw me looking at it and something like that. And he was like, that was me, right? And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. But then, yes, I also saw the handwriting, and I'm like,
you put two and two together.
This mofo.
I mean, it's just because it's Tuesday, baby.
Right, but
literally when I was looking at you get ready, and I said I was gonna wait till we started recording to share this with you, but I was looking at you get ready, and in my mind, I'm saying, I'm like, wow, she doesn't even know how beautiful she is. Like, she deserves everything that her heart desires, and I'm gonna make sure she get that.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, mind your business, all right? But yeah, like, so I had that feeling about her since then, and it wasn't fake. Like, I didn't need to boast about dropping the flowers for her. Like, I wanted her to believe whatever she wanted to believe. Like, if she thought it was me, then it was me. If not, time will tell. And guess what? We ended up together, being married, and I'm now telling her, like, yeah, that was me after marrying her. So it was crazy. But prior to marrying her, let's go back to where we were. So during that time period of being on and off, for me, for both of us, I'm pretty sure it was difficult emotionally, because I knew she liked me. Like, she wasn't faking that. You know what I'm saying? And I liked her too. But we had to go through certain things to end up where we are currently. So what happened was, I had gotten immaturity and lack of emotional maturity. I had gotten upset at the on and off, right? And I kind of pulled back, and I gave my attention to the first person that came around, which was my now ex-wife. So what happened in that situation was, and I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there, right? Like, y'all can look through the whole internet, look through all my social media accounts. You're never gonna find a recording or a post about me denigrating my ex-wife or talking bad about her or whatever. It's just, we just weren't for each other. You know what I mean? So, because it was always her. She was always the one. But I'm gonna tell you, when you're not emotionally equipped to deal with certain things, you can make the wrong decisions. So my advice to those of you that are dating, that are thinking about dating, that are thinking about getting married, thinking about getting engaged, like, make sure that you are emotionally intact as much as you can be. Nobody's perfect. Nobody will have everything figured out. But at least understand your feelings to the point where like, all right, I'm about to give my feelings to this person. Is this person really the one for me, or am I, am I upset about something else, or am I thinking about somebody else? Like, and I didn't give myself that emotional space to really say, yo, bro, whoa, hold on a second. All of your feelings is over here still. Like, what are you doing? So I end up giving my ex-wife, not dropping any names. Y'all thought y'all tried it.
If you know, you know.
Right. So we ended up talking in 2014. Now, a conversation happened between Jamila and I during that time where she called me and I was supposed to be going to Oakwood. And she said to me, so are you still going to stupid Oakwood? Now, we're not saying, that's just that's how she felt.
That's how I felt. I mean,
at the moment.
I still don't really care for Oakwood.
You're about to make all the Adventist people upset. All the Oakwoodites gonna be upset.
All the Aeolians.
They about to be upset. But
No shade.
I mean, it's just preference. It's just preference.
It's just not for
You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "Are you still gonna go?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And I think I said something along the lines like, I mean, she was like, "How I'm gonna see you?" Or "I'm gonna come down and see you," or whatever. I'm like, "Well, you're not my girl, so why are you worried about that?" And guys, she literally said, "I could be, but I missed it." Right over my head. Why? Because I was in my bag about not being on the timing that I want. That was such a big lesson for me in my life because it was like she was
summer.
ready. She was ready.
Yeah, it's been like over a year now.
She was ready, and I'm sitting there pouting and I missed it. And it's like I went ahead and it's coerced. The word that I'm looking for.
Into your marriage?
Into that marriage.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
No, you made your choice.
I made my choice, but I still feel like
you led with your emotions and how you were feeling
towards you, and then I made a decision to go that way.
Yeah. So.
But as soon as I made that decision, and it's no shade to my ex-wife. As soon as I made the decision, I was like, damn, this was the wrong thing. This was the wrong thing. One, because the whole time my mind was on Miss Honey. She doesn't believe me, guys, till this day, that for 4 years that my mind could still be on her. But let me tell you, my mind was on her the whole time. Now, there was one time when she went to the Dominican Republic. Was you in the DR with your family? And we were talking, and we was at church. I was at church, and I came out and I was talking to you, and you literally said, you know, this could be you could have been here, but you decided to make other plans. And like I felt like falling through the floor. Like I felt like just falling through the whole entire floor because
the year before I think I went to New Orleans. Yep, and then that year we went to DR.
I was so
and that's my second time there.
I was so tight because the background looked good. She looked good. She was on the beach or by the beach or something like that. And I'm sitting there looking at her and I felt like I was supposed to be there. Yet here I am in this other situation, not wanting to really be there. And because now of pride and saving face, I tried to make it seem as though that I was happy in that situation, right? And I really wasn't. Like, I really was not. And one of our mutual friends told me, like, bro, don't do that because that's not gonna work, or that's not. And, you know, being in the space that I was in, lacking emotional maturity, I ended up still making that decision, right? So now I'm in a situation where I'm really not happy. My family is not happy. My mother was not happy. My father was not happy. My sister was not happy. You know, everyone, all the, you know, my cousins and all the females on my family just were not happy because, you know, there was just when you go into a family, be careful of the attitude that you have when you're meeting that family. And that was one of the major issues of my last situation. You know, the pride, the arrogance, like that was something that was a big hiccup from my family. And then on top of that, y'all, I didn't do it the right way. Like, I'm being transparent with you guys right now. I didn't do it the right way. I went behind everybody's back, went to the court, and did it without notifying my family. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people go to Vegas and get eloped and everything like that, but I knew better.
My son went down to J Street.
J Street Borough Hall. You know what I'm saying? That's a stop, you know? But
If you're a New Yorker, you'll get it.
Yeah. My family raised me better than that, right? So in that moment, like, I disappointed my father, I disappointed my mom, I disappointed everybody. And on top of that, when I was describing you and telling him about you, so, to make that sudden switch,
Right.
because to everybody else, they knew you, like, they was like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I just went right, I just went left,
Mm-hmm.
So I was in that situation and I was broken for 4 years. I hid it very well. People close to me, relationships that I had that were dear to me, I lost some of them, and it upsets me till this day. There's some people from my old church that relationship caused us not to have the same relationship, and that is like one of my biggest regrets of that situation.
Wow.
That it took me away from some of the friends that I grew up with, some of the people that I grew up with, and because of the time, it was 4 years. People grow apart if you're not connected for 4 years, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I lost really dear friendships because of that situation. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I even had gotten sick, y'all. Like my nervous, what is it? I had like a nervous situation. Nervous. I was laying on my couch for 12 days. I lost like 20 pounds. And this was because emotionally, I just was broken. Like, I didn't want to be in the situation, and my body, and then I worked so much. Like, I was working 16-hour days all week sometimes, on top of not being happy at home, on top of wanting to really be with her.
Wow.
So my body just was like, bro, nah, we can't take it. We can't take it. So after that, I literally said, like, I know, some people might look at this and say that this is wrong or whatever, but I literally prayed and said, God, if I'm not supposed to be here, figure out a way for me to get out, because this joint is literally breaking me down. Now, I know some of the old school Adventists gonna be like, talking about divorce and God never intended for you to be unhappy.
That part.
And he knows that you make mistakes as a human being.
But he'll let you go through it to learn.
Before you try to throw Bible at me, I am not the one. Because I'll throw it right back in your face.
Mercy.
So I had to get out. At this time, I'm working in Harlem. I'm progressing in every other part of my life except my love life, like, right, my marriage. So throughout the time, that those 4 years, I think I spoke to her maybe 3 times, because y'all, I tried to be in that situation. I tried to cut her, I tried to not follow her on social media. I tried to, unfriend her from everything, but she was here and she was here. Like, I couldn't get her out of my system. Like, I'll even get spicy for y'all, because I know this episode has just been more like informational. I even get spicy for y'all. There was one time, you know what I'm saying, we were doing the do, and I believe she told me, my ex-wife, that I called another woman's name.
Yikes.
It was probably her, because I used to be thinking about her all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's our little spiciness for this episode. So
That's terrible.
Is it terrible? I mean, look where you at now. But
That's
because
normal.
we was always supposed to be the one, baby. It's just a little, you know, what's the name of that?
You detoured.
What's the name of that movie? That, you know, where you take a certain path and people come and put you back on the right path.
Oh yes, that was
with Anthony Mackie.
Yes, that was. Oh my God! See, talk about when something.
Divergent?
No, it was not the adjuster.
It's the Adjustment Bureau.
The Adjustment Bureau. See,
yes.
Something with the adjustment.
Yeah, the Adjustment Bureau. So
dope movie, by the way. If you haven't seen
check that out. If
it's old, but not that old.
Yeah,
but
it's a dope movie. So you know, I'm progressing in everything in my career. I'm a program director now in Harlem, running a facility. You know, and there was one day I'm in my office. I've already, at this time, you know, I separated and I moved out, or was in the process of separating, and I call Jamila. AKA,
this is now 2019.
Yeah, Miss Honey, right? And now, mind you, I haven't spoken to her audibly in 4 years, right?
We spoke.
Well, yeah, you're right. But it wasn't long enough because it would always be like, I'll call you back. That's literally what I would get. Hey, what's up? I'm kind of busy. I'll call you back. That's what I was getting. So she picked up, and it was just like somebody totally different. Like, she actually wanted to talk to me. She was like, hey, you know, what's up? How you doing? You know, sounding all corporate America. I'm like, yes, God, who's this? She's like, I'll call you back. I really will call you back.
Corporate America will do that to you.
You know what I'm saying? And when I called her back, or when she called me back, we called somebody back. I told her, look, I gotta tell you something. I just want to talk to you. Can we meet up? And prior, like I said to y'all earlier, we used to go on a lot of dates. We used to go to this place called Lantern downtown. It's a Thai restaurant on Montague Street, right? So, right by the promenade. If you're from New York, you know what I'm talking about. And we went there. We scheduled to meet up, and we met up there. And just I was so nervous, y'all. My hands was all sweaty because it's I haven't seen her in so long, and I just wanted to just see her in person, right? So I met her. She looks even more good. I know that's wrong English, but I don't care. And
I think you had picked.
I picked you up.
Picked me up, yeah.
And we went there. I mean, guys, she did she had the hair done, the makeup. It was just oh yes, God.
I had box breathing too.
Yeah. And at that moment, I sat in front of her and I spilled everything. I poured out probably way too much onto this girl about what I was going through, how I was feeling, where I was at. But you know something, y'all? She handled it with so much grace and so much poise that made me fall even more crazy for her, because she could have made me feel like an idiot, she could have made me feel small, but she literally was like, look, take care of what you gotta take care of, and I'll be here when you're done. Because, you know, we was gonna do it the right way, you feel what I'm saying? It wasn't about, you know, we wasn't dipping, nah. You should take care about, so I had to take care of what I had to take care of legally, you know, and then she was there. But the way she handled that, y'all, the way that she made me feel after, you know.
And don't get it twisted, it wasn't, I was still dating, at that time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I mean, yes, I was there gonna wait, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm not just gonna throw all my eggs in that basket either, because at that time I'm he's still going through this emotionally, and it's just a lot for him. So I wasn't just gonna jump in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for you. But if the stars align and it's what God intends, then for sure, like I'm all in. But at that time I was still dating, what I'm saying, still going out with whoever, and not whoever, but at that time I was probably only really dating one person, about one person. And I wasn't sure about that relationship neither. We weren't, we were exclusive, at least I thought. For me, I know I was, because I wasn't really dating anybody else. So when Oz came back around that time too, when he said what he said, I was still in that, talking to that other individual. So I wasn't sure, I wasn't gonna just be done with that, and everything aligned how it was supposed to, because
Right.
that didn't really work out too tough. I just ended up, we just went our separate ways, because I remember just telling him, like, I deserve more, because he was also in his situation trying to figure that out with his ex, the mother of his kids. And I'm like, look, I'm done being come second to anyone. Like, if you don't have your ducks in a row, you don't have figured out, then we don't need to be talking.
I got my ducks in a row real quick.
So, and we had a little spat to where he was, he was kind of mad, and I was mad too, because I'm like, well, you didn't make it, like, you're just not ready, like you're not ready, like, you have all this going on, you're not ready. And I was just going along with the punches just because it was something to consume my time.
Right. Yeah, so.
But nevertheless, I died down that situation. And when you were done,
everything kind of came
together, right?
Because when we, when we were outside, then we just were outside. I remember telling my mom, because I remember when we would hang out, like, she would be at my mom's crib, because at that time, like, I had moved out of mine.
Sidebar, mom definitely tried to come for me, because she was like, oh, Jamila, you're back now? You run away from my son.
Yeah, she was like, how she ran away from me, but I was really the one that wasn't, because she literally was like,
she was like, you disappeared.
Right. But I told my mom, I'm like, look, I was tired dropping her home at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. Because what happens, we would chill, watch movies, eat food, she would fall asleep.
Like, wait, you talking about the second time around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
Chill, eat food, fall asleep, and then I gotta wake her up at like 3 in the morning to take her home. So I told my mom, I'm like, look, Jamila is gonna be the one. She is the one. So if you see her at the crib in the morning when you wake up,
what's up, girl?
Like, just know, because she's about to be my wife.
Yeah.
So my mom, she know when I'm serious, right? So my mom looked at me and she was just like, oh, okay. That's all she said was, oh, okay.
All right, big chop.
So, and then not too long after that, we ended up moving to Minnesota to kind of like start our life, because we wanted to live somewhere that wasn't New York. Because we personally feel, not that, you guys that live in New York haven't been successful and haven't done it, but cultivating a relationship in New York,
it's not for everybody.
It's difficult at times because it's so much distractions. New York is stressful. You're already tight because the traffic alone gets you upset to the point where now you gotta come home and you already got an attitude from the dude that tried to cut you off, and
all those flashing lights and slow school zones and getting a ticket every left. Us moving to Minnesota was a
game
great
changer. We
fresh
had to
start.
leave New York, definitely. Even though we had our stuff in Minnesota as well, we left, and there were still some growing pains that we had to deal with. We had gotten to a point in the relationship where we were not speaking to each other, and my dad, he intervened, and he gave us some great advice. You see, my trauma was running from conflict, and my trauma inadvertently was my wife's trauma, because everyone always ran from something, and that was something that she was dealing with. And then if you go to episode 1, you'll also see there was also some childhood trauma that, so we had to kind of deal with that. And my dad told us to use the I feel method. And that's simple. It's really just when you're talking about something that the other person, your significant other, did to you,
right,
or they may have said, or they might not have even, known that they said something. Just use the I feel. I feel, or I felt.
Or when you did this, it made me feel
this
like
way.
this way.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
You got the groove, that's why. You know what I'm saying? My gun is all in my neck, bro.
The people could still hear you.
All right. Well, so we moved, and that was a point, where I could have just really just left, because my dad asked her, did she love me? And she said she doesn't know. But I felt like that was the soft way out. I felt like as a man, you should fight for your relationship, show in the times where it's needed that you're really here and you're really the rock of the relationship. So I literally stood up outside and I told her, look, you need me right now more than I need you. And I'm gonna stand by your side. I'm gonna be here for you during this time. And I would like to say that that's when she fell in love with me, because I really could have dipped, but we sat on our floor that night and we reconstructed our relationship. We rebuilt it from the ground up. And that is where, I realized that she was not only my friend, but my best friend, my rock, my support system, my coach, my cheerleader, my, everything that I could ever need. That's what she was. And that's what led me to want to propose to her. And it was funny, like I had hit her brother up, my bro, and I was like, look, man, like I want to propose. And it was so dope that they were so excited. They were like, all right, bro, like, so when you gonna get the ring? You got the ring yet? And literally I decided to propose during our second kid, our second daughter, her baby shower in New York. I was like, look, we're gonna have most of the family there. Let me just pop the question. I called my cousin, Trevina. I said, look, I need you to come up with 3 songs that are about marriage. And I want to end on the Bruno Mars "Marry Me" song. And I'm gonna need you to distract her during the baby shower.
I was so bamboozled.
And I got down on my knee and I made the best decision that I ever made in my life to marry her. And we have since then even added a 3rd child, you know what I'm saying? and our family is growing, and our love is growing.
Absolutely.
Our emotional maturity is growing. And honestly, I would not change it for the world. Like I would not do anything different. If
No,
I could end up right back here,
in our bliss.
right here. I mean, I could only speak for my relationship, y'all, but I I'm in so love. I'm in so love. I'm so in love with this girl. Everything about her, you know, like it's just an amazing thing. Not saying that there are times where human beings have disagreements. You know, like I don't like the stigma that they put on marriages. Like, yo, if you're in a relationship with your sister, your brother, you're gonna get into a disagreement. But it's about all the other things, and I'm thankful for her. Um, if you want, I guess, more details about our love story, you're gonna have to hit us up personally. But that was a lot of years put into a short period of time, and I think we're out of time.
Well, yeah, we can leave on. We got married.
And then we had the big wedding out here in Texas. That was super dope because we got married in Minnesota, but it was during COVID, so everybody couldn't make it to the wedding.
Yeah, the legalities of it was, I'm in 2020, but we celebrated with everyone in 2021.
It was fire.
Definitely beautiful. And in our 5-year, just stay tuned for that because we will be on someone's island.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be exclusive only, not too many people. So, if you get an invite, you get an invite. If you don't, that's fine. You can still watch.
Facts.
So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a destination. So, stay tuned for that beautiful moment because I'm all about celebrating. We just have so much in store that I just can't wait to drop all these jewels and gems.
Yeah.
But you just gotta follow our story and just follow our story because it's gonna be a ride. It's gonna be a joyous one at that. And feel free to let us know some things that y'all wanna talk about or hear us talk about too. Definitely, we love feedback. I think next episode we're definitely gonna have the kids join us on this one, and just come from a parenting aspect.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
But, you're gonna meet our
the whole fam.
The whole family.
So with that being said, y'all make sure that y'all support the podcast by going over to YouTube, subscribing to the channel, sharing it with others that may like it. Go to our Instagram, make sure you give us a follow, make sure when we post you repost, you comment. We really love that. We really appreciate that. And because we want to keep the content fresh, we want to keep the content transparent, and we want to keep y'all entertained but also informed at the same time. You got anything else for me, babe, before we go?
Nah, man, just stay black, be black and proud.
Wow. All right. be black and be proud.
Stay fabulous. No, don't stay black. Well, if you are black, but stay true to yourself. I won't say I'm learning, but just be true to who you are.
Yeah, be genuine. Be genuine as especially in the space of relationships. Just even to yourself, be genuine to yourself.
Yeah, and learn to love you.
Yeah.
I'm learning that, and it's not easy. I look at where I was, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful how far I've come mentally, emotionally, and just the maturity level.
Definitely not the same person.
The growth, I love it, and I'm going to continue to grow. But the physicality of me, I'm learning to accept and know that the changes can be made, but to give myself some grace, because I have had 3 kids and I'm eager to get back to what I used to look like. But it's going to take time, and I need to just pace myself. Thanks, babe. Appreciate it. You know, and just take time to enjoy what you love, enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And be open to welcoming new things, be open-minded, and you'll sit back and see and analyze yourself and be like, wow, like, I didn't know I could enjoy this, or I didn't know I could be a part of that. I didn't know I could listen to this. And just enjoy life. You only have one life to live. So, without further ado, man, it's your girl Milla Honey, Miss Honey.
Your boy Mr. B, aka Ozzy the Lion. You already know what it is, man. Thank y'all for watching episode 3, our not so cliche love story.
Right.
And we'll catch y'all on episode 4. Once again, make sure y'all like us, follow us, share, subscribe, all that. We'll holler at you in the next one, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.